Hi there, this is Melanie Carr, and this is Erotic Abundance. The purpose of this podcast is to help people become more connected with their intimate, creative, erotic, sexual energy and its connection to your life mission and what you came here to do on this planet. Let's talk about responsibility. Nobody likes responsibility, but it is really important for us to be aware that it's our responsibility, our own eroticism, our own energy, our own sexual energy. And we can cultivate this in so many ways. And just as a practice to start to become more personally more aware and responsible and not putting that on someone else. I want to suggest just a small exercise where each day you look for one small area where you take your own responsibility for creating erotic and sensual energy in your life. Whether you're a man or a woman, you can be cultivating this in many different ways. And for women and for men, it's very different. Guys produce more testosterone by doing their kind of more manly things. In many ways, taking time, doing things with their guy friends, going out to, take some space sometimes, go to their man cave, watch a movie that they want to watch, not thinking so much about the romantic, cuddly stuff that the women want to do, And there's a real big difference between what turns guys' testosterone and sex hormones on and what turns women's sexual energy on. And for women, it's more about creating the more romantic and the more sensual energies. Guys can get their testosterone going by taking that space for themselves. But then when they get to that place where they've taken that space, it's important for them to also work a little bit on the senses, the more sensual things, because guys can also create, once they've got their testosterone going, they can create a kind of a scene or a situation where they are more in touch with taste, touch, smell, all the five senses. And each day, if you just make it like a priority to incorporate, okay, we want one testosterone creating exercise, which could just be, doing some physical exercise or doing something by yourself or taking a moment to get that going. And then from there, just doing, maybe put a plant in your house or take some flowers or put on some incense or, get some candles or put on some music that's a little more sensual, or eat something like some strawberries or chocolate or something but just kind of like a reminder each day. For guys, it's I need some space, and once I've had some space, I want to incorporate one kind of sensual thing. And it's called sensual because it's about the senses. So as a woman, I can try to describe it, but obviously it's going to come across more in the way that females will see this. And for women, it's also important to take some space, but when they take their space, it's more about their romantic, sensual things, exploring their bodies on their own, getting their own energy going, because it takes women a lot longer to become aroused and for their bodies to get to a place where they can have an orgasm or an energetic orgasm or accumulate the energy in their bodies. And it's much faster for men. So a lot of women are waiting for the guy to help them get to that place, whereas it's your responsibility to be sensual and erotic. And if you cultivate that energy by taking time also on your own to practice those things, then you can be more ready and more prepared when you do get together with a partner. Though I really do recommend, that women are exploring on their own, their bodies. But once you do understand your body better, I recommend for women that, and for guys too, that when you are on your own, if you do have a partner that you're sharing your erotic life with, that you're just using the energy to kind of prepare yourself and get yourself turned on. And then if you are going to have a physical orgasm, you share that with your partner. Obviously, if you're just starting out and you want to explore your body and you want to learn more about your body, then go for it. Do your own thing. And if you do have a situation where your partner is stressed and is not interested in having an intimate relationship in that moment, obviously it's valid to do whatever you need to do, coming to a complete orgasm and helping yourself to regulate your energy if it just becomes a little bit too much. Because if you do start practicing these kind of exercises and getting your senses going and smelling things that are erotic and eating things that are erotic and getting candles and flowers and music and getting all your senses, that's why it's called sensuality, getting all of your senses incorporated. And this is a great tip for guys, because if you're going to just use the sexual things to get the women turned on, you might find that it's a little bit hard to, keep that intensity going until she gets turned on. But if you start with some of the sensual things, it's not as difficult to get her arousal point to the point where she's able to have an orgasm together with you, or an energetic situation if you're practicing more the sexual transmutation of the energy to create something between the two of you. So it's kind of like, for guys, it's like take space. For women, it's also take space. But for women, it's like take space to arouse yourself, to do the sensual, more feminine things that you need to do in order to be more ready and in the moment, so that you can be more quickly aroused with your partner, because it's so much faster for men. They can have great sex even, within just a couple of minutes. It's the same great sex for them as it is if it takes a half an hour or an hour. Whereas for a woman, in a 1 minute sex is probably not going to be as satisfying as, a 20 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever. So we have to be aware of these differences in men and women, and with our partners or by ourselves, work through these energetic differences. So many times women, they want to have this closeness and this cuddling and this affection, which is just like, for women, that energy is just the absolute best energy in the world, to have someone who you can touch and cuddle and hold. And sometimes you don't even care about the sex, you just want that affection and that closeness. And that's what lowers testosterone in men. And then guys need, to have that space and to watch some, movie that has like, stuff they like. I don't know whether a lot of guys, I find a lot of guys are into watching movies that have a little bit of shooting and violence and a little bit of, here's some, I don't know, military things and some, these kind of more like male macho type things. And they watch those things and they get a little more testosterone, and then they can come back to having more sensual experiences. And I think women have to understand they got to do that stuff with their guys, and they also have to let their guys do that and not judge it like, oh, you want to watch this violent stuff. I know a lot of men really enjoy those kind of movies, and it's what's helping them to get their testosterone levels back. Guys are in primal human animalistic times. Men were hunters, and men were protectors, and men were fighters and warriors. So we got to let them have that, and understand that it's part of being a guy. And not all men are like that. Some guys are like other more artistic and cultural and creative things. But they still are going to do those creative things on their own, to take their time and to have their space and to think and process. Women have all this emotional energy, and we want guys to listen to us, and we want guys to absorb some of that emotional energy for us. And then they need to go off and process that. So we have to give them their space to get their testosterone levels up. A lot of this is scientific, and a lot of the information about how to create these moments and put everything into balance is also just about understanding how the hormones and the chemicals in our bodies go through their processes and get into balance. And then the other part of it is the energy, and it has to all kind of come together, So I think taking responsibility for your own sensuality, for your own sexuality and intimate creative energy, and taking time each day to do at least one thing that turns you on, that gets those energies and those erotic juices flowing in your life, those creative, intimate. And once you've created that, then take a deep breath and bring it up into your heart center, into your body, and start using that energy in your body. Just do it as like a practice each day, several times a day. Just say, hey, this is my erotic moment. I'm going to create some energy. We've got people out there that want to be writers, that want to be artists, musicians, painters, creative endeavors. And they're sitting there going, oh, I just don't have the inspiration to write, or it's just not flowing, And in order to get those energies flowing, it starts with that exact practice of getting your own erotic creative energy going. And in order to do that, in order to learn how to do that, it's just really a lot about practicing and learning to kind of create and incorporate that in your life. So you're working with it, and you're learning to bring it up into your body. And it doesn't always have to be sex. It can be just doing some creative and some erotic and some sensual things in your life. So try to have those sensual moments every day. Try to be working with that every day and incorporate that into your life, and be responsible for that energy yourself. Instead of waiting for someone to create that for you, we're waiting for the men to create these beautiful experiences for us. But we're not realizing how important it is that we create and generate that energy for ourselves. Someone else isn't going to know how to create that for you. And if you learn how to create that for yourself, then you can work on that experience of communicating to your partner and other people in your life what you like and what you need and how you feel. And then little by little, you'll find that you'll be able to have more experiences like that, where your partner is understanding you better because you've understood yourself and you're creating it for yourself, and they will see that and they'll incorporate it into your life. So being responsible for your own intimate, erotic, creative energy is probably the first step and the most important way to get this all going. So have a great day and try to incorporate something in your life in each moment. Have a great day.